It was the final day of the annual Maine Agricultural Trade Show in Augusta.
Keenan Mills has more from the Civic Center.
The Maine Agricultural Trade Show gathers farmers, food providers, and more, all under one roof. Throughout the three-day event, folks can sit in on sessions to learn more about other Maine organizations.
This show can be considered almost a teach-in order to network with other professionals that are helping to advocate for local farms and local value-added producers like ourselves.
With also a large emphasis on simple conversations. The Ag Show brings in a variety of organizations.
We work to connect those food producers, primary producers, with the public, with consumers, by teaching consumers about Maine food systems, why they should be shopping local, the impact that that has, and really teaching them where their food comes from.
With some even offering free samples.
We make the only pizza dough from 100% Maine grains. It's a delicious product, and what better way to sell the product than to get people to try it first.
Thursday's sessions and conferences had a large focus on one thing: agritourism.
Agritourism is a full sensory experience where you can come on the farm, you can have a participatory activity, you can hear stories directly from producers. And that leads to this emotional attachment on the part of consumers that will keep them not only coming back, but promoting your farm, your business, your fishery.
Agritourism meaning when a food producer invites the public in to see how the work is done. Although it may seem like fun, this is how some producers keep the lights on.
Well, we have to keep them in business. That's the one thing that we have to remember. These are not just places where we recreate or have fun, but we've got to keep them in production.
According to those at the show, there's one thing that sets Maine apart.
I think a lot of it is that small scale. Maine is different than a lot of other states in that the vast majority of our food production is at this really, really small, local, family-run scale.
Even at the government level, they favor the small-scale product.
Farmers are invaluable because we think it's really important to get fresh produce, that fresh food that can go directly from a neighboring farm right into a food pantry, so that clients or consumers at that food pantry can get the same produce that's being served at the fancy restaurant right down the street.
Keenan Mills, WAVI News, Augusta.